Hey, Shalom, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakodash, the one the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, risking your life to do so. And I'm the brother Shaman of Great Millstone, Chicago. And yeah, that wasn't even the real New Year. That wasn't the real New Year. Of course, we observe it because, of this world, people observe it. And now, everybody gets the gym membership and they look back and I'm going to be a new person. And, whatever. Now, it's a good spirit for you to continue to be in that spirit all year, right? To reflect upon yourself. Because the scriptures say, let every man consider his own way. All right, but we're not just going to do it once in the middle of the winter. We're gonna actually start off the year, in the springtime when it's supposed to be started, when the plants start to bloom and the cold starts to break. All right, but without further ado, and you're gonna have a lot of people like this guy. But if you open this book up, remember, the scripture said there's no private interpretation thereof. So you have to know the breakdown that's been given. All right, the Holy Spirit has been working. It talks about men rising up on their feet, right? Their enemies beheld them. It talks about, Ezekiel 37, their breath entering back into us. So that breath entered into men who came before us, right, who we are under tutelage of, and certain understanding was given to them already, including this particular breakdown, right, the MOTB, which this is coming soon. The U.S. dollar just lost 11% value. Like at that rate, it's crazy, 11%, and that's why silver and gold are up. Platinum even is up 11%. If it continues on like that, and all these different global currencies are based on the U.S. dollar. That's why everybody's buying up gold and silver. All right, but without further ado, and I agree with the brother Mataz. He said, yeah, this guy might be an Israelite. He might be, but this guy's a false prophet. And you have to understand, if you're in the lot of the false prophet, you're going to be destroyed. Right? You're going to be destroyed because if you say that the Lord said this and he did not say it, you're in the world of hurt. Right, so you want to get, in the scripture say it's better to slip on pavement than slip of the tongue. You want to get these things right on the first time. All right, but without further ado, he's about to try to explain it.
Wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his sim.
And who is the beast? For all you prophets out there, who is the beast? And matter of fact, we just go to the chapter, Revelation 17. It tells you in that chapter, 7 kings, right? Matter of fact, let's go to it, all right? Because it breaks it down who the beast is. You see, understanding who the beast is understanding what the mark is. The mark of the beast. There's a difference between the mark of the beast and the mark of exemption that's put on the elect. Right? The Revelation 17:7, and the angel said unto me, wherefore did thou marvel? Because he saw what? A woman, a whore, sitting on a beast, coming out of the water. He said, I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, right, out of Europe, right, out of what is modernly known as Europe, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Hey, they're going to wonder. That word there, to wonder, to marvel, to be had in admiration. Right? That's what goes on here in America. People come here and they're in, oh my gosh, they're in admiration. Wow. This is, whoa, America. I can worship whatever I want to worship, whatever bullshit God I want to worship. And then I could, you know, that women can come over here and be a whore. They can come over here and commit fraud and adultery and all these other things, which if they did that amongst their own, you know, it would be a huge social taboo. It would be a problem. If they did it in the open, because a lot of these places they do similar stuff, but they do it behind closed doors. All right, but here these people wondered, oh my God, look at the riches and the technology and the wow. You know, and then of course they have Jake, right, the sons of Jacob, the so-called Latino, so-called Native American, so-called blacks, as the poster child. All right, dancing, entertainers, singers. See, that's where they like you at. And people wonder, wow, look at these people who they've been used, and then, yeah, wow, what a great, wow. All right, it said, see, we're not wondering at this place. We're looking at it for what it is. It's a whore. Yeah. All right, and that includes, because it says the beast that thou sawest shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. All right. America, NATO, and the EU is headed for a world full of hurt. All right. America is going into perdition. Now, different parts of the other world are going to be destroyed, but America is the primary place of destruction. It says, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here is the mind that have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. 7 mountains represent governments. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. All right, and this goes into the French, who are called the Franks, the Germans. All right, Germania Major, Germania Minor, right? Which those regions were, they've always been kind of split up. Then at a certain point, they all banded together. But it began as Germania Major, Germania Minor, the French, the Spanish, the Romans, and the Greeks. All right, then the 7th one being Britain. It says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7 and goeth into perdition. This is talking about America, it was a colony of Britain, and then branched off and became on top. And the 10 horns which thou saw, the 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And so you have NATO, which was created first, and then the EU, right, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And those are the 7 top, and it's more nations in it, but those are the 7 top governments, of course, with America being on top of all of them. And then you have the 10 horns, you have all the other countries which were a part of that as well. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So there you go. These are one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. All these nations back up. They back each other up as a conglomerate. They sit down at the table. Look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to move like this. We're going to chop this up. All right, and that's what they've done. And until now, they've been able to loot and run deception on the world and kind of get away with shit. But now people are their own people. Right? It's your own people speaking out, because it's starting to get messy. The house is starting to get divided. You know, this man is demented for real. These shall make war with the Lamb. And that's what's going to happen in World War III. They're actually going to go to war with America. And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. All right, there you go. So it actually breaks it down. These are nations. These are kings. Represent nations, mountains.
Number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his symbol or his number is Chi Z Stigma. 3 Greek letters combined as one symbol. You see, they deceive us by translating it to 666. But when you actually click on that in the concordance, it takes you to this symbol right here. Chi Z Stigma. Let's break down exactly what this means, letter by letter. Chi is the first letter in the Greek name Christ.
No, that's not it. No, you can't do that. Yeah, it might start with the same letter because he's trying to say that the mark of the beast is the false image of the Messiah. That's not what that's talking about. Which the image of the beast, right? This kingdom, this place being the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. All right, it's talking about Rome and the things that are in Rome and the reflection of Rome. All right, but this is Revelation 13 and 18. Because a lot of people do that. Oh, see, this has this letter, which is the same as this. You can't do that. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of the beast. This is the vibration that they're in. Okay, the 666 vibration. They play with numbers. All right, this is them. This is Satan. This is the devil. This is the vibration that they're under. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. This is a literal number. Okay, Chi Stigma 666. The meaning of which is basis on much vain speculation. Yeah, see, that's not a definition. And that's why when Yahweh Shai said, it said he spoke as one of the prophets. He spoke with authority, not as one of the scribes. What is that? It say he spoke with a certain authority, not as one of the scribes. Yeah, Mark 1 and 22. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one that had authority, and that's the prophets. We have an authority from the heavens, because the understanding has been laid onto us. So we have the authority to say that, hey, you're wrong. This is what the Lord said. This is what it means. Right? We can say that to our own people. Right? Which, like I said, I agree with Mataz. I believe this guy is an Israelite. He's sincerely wrong, but he is an Israelite. Hopefully he sees our videos and repents. He said, for he taught them as one that had authority and not as the scribes. All right, yeah, you see these different tools we use. They're good. They evaluate things in here. But most of these breakdowns, they don't understand. All right, they're scribes. They can piece things together. Certain things you can chain with history, and you can kind of get the gist of it. Right, Esau, they know that Ezekiel 38 and 39 is talking about World War III with actually Russia. But Russia and who? Some of them will say, well, Russia and Israel. But if you say that, then those people in Israel can't be the real Israelites. A lot of people already know that that's true. Right? It can't be. Nobody can make war with the kingdom of heaven. That's not. That's not going to happen. All right. So which one? It has to. Something has to be. Something has to be up. All right. But 666. This is the vibration they're under. It's not a deep breakdown. All right. Look at this. Yeah, we always go the Monster Energy drink. It's the Y. All right, Y. A lot of symbols have the 6 in them. And this is just a few. FOX 666. Wow. Well, You can see the 3 6s in Walt Disney, the Magician. All right, World Economic Forum. Yep, the way they do it, they'll put it in there in a slick way that you can't see. Now look at that. They show the hand symbols right there with the yep. There's a lot of people doing that little hand symbol thing too. Your favorite rapper probably gonna do that, or he'll throw up the 6. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like 3 6s intertwined. Look at this. You turn it upside like damn. All right, that's what the 3 6 Mafia. That's where they're getting their vibration from. They actually told you that. They actually summoned Satan. That's why Memphis is one of the murder capitals right now. Right, that spirit. Yep. So you get it. It's the vibration of 6. And of course, yep. You got the celebrities. They throw up that's the 3, triple, right? 6. All right. Some of these are so subtle, you know, on first glance, you might not see it, but understanding Esau, we know that there's some type of demonic shit in everything that he does anyway. All right, he's the wicked. These are the sons of the wicked.
IST, which is the name of the false Messiah.
And basically, he's going to just continue on and just ramble on about, you know, which this is, we already know this is not the correct image of Yahweh Shai. This is Cesare Borgia, all right, who was, you know, Serapis Christus at one point or whatever false Messiah they put out, which if this guy knows so much and, because he was actually talking about, you know, going into following God's law, which he's right about that. You definitely should do that. But then if you're doing that, you shouldn't have long hair where your silhouette makes you look like a woman. So you got to cut that shit off, my man. All right, he's gonna ramble on, but that's basically it. That's why it's important to get this milk while it's hot. Right? Get the basics. Everybody wants the super deep meaning of life. The basics are very important. The basics are extremely important. What is the beast? What is the mark? What is the name of the Lord? What is the name of his son, if thou can tell, right? That's why we say all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Right? The precepts, Revelation 17, it breaks down who the beast is. With that mark, you're not going to be able to buy or to sell. We see why. Their money, like it says, your gold and silver is canker. All right, so Lord willing is edifying. I don't, you know, click too much on these guys, but because it says Yahoo, it's no U in the ancient Hebrew, so it can't be Yahoo. All right, but Lord willing is edifying, and really, man, the goal of us doing these videos is so the person makes it, they can see that, you know, because the scriptures require sincerity, authenticity. All right, this is the age of social media where everybody got some slick shit to say. The scriptures say, remove the dross from a vessel and remove the dross from silver and it shall become a finer vessel. See, that's what the intention is when we do these responses. All right, if you're going off, you're following this guy, or even if you are this guy, you need to correct yourself, all right, with the correct doctrine, or it's going to result in you losing out on salvation. All right, but Lord willing is edifying. Shalom to the elect.